Hello, Year 11. We're going to go through Paper 3 with the 2016 paper. It's a 2.5 hour exam and there's three parts to it. The first part is creating an evidence document. Second part is data analysis, which is to do with the spreadsheet, and website authoring, and we're going to be using Dreamweaver for that. This video I'm going to split into two sections. The first section will cover the spreadsheet and the second section will cover the Dreamweaver. Also, what I'm going to be doing is making an extra video with the mark scheme so you can get an idea of exactly how the examiner will be marking your work and what they're expecting from you. I've realized on this specific paper they've asked you to do certain things and not explained exactly what you need to do, but if you check the number of marks you can get a fair idea of what you're expected to do. Also, underline the main points on each question so that you can refer back to it. For example, here it says display all currency values in dollars to decimal places. Later on it will expect you to do that, but it will not remind you that you need to put it into dollars with two decimal places. I'm going to miss out the evidence document. That's quite obvious how to do that. So I'm going to start off with the spreadsheet. They're asking for you to prepare a spreadsheet for a company called Super Scuba. You'll be using spreadsheet to create a chart and calculate the cost of diving trips. Now they're asking you to use a suitable package to load the P3 sheet.csv. CSV stands for comma separated values. I'm going to get an opportunity later to be able to explain to you exactly what CSV is and why you should change the format when you save your work. So I'm going to go ahead and load this paper, the file, so P3 spreadsheet. I'm using the 2010 version. The 2013 is very similar but with a minor change. We'll be explaining that as well. Take a minute or two to go through the spreadsheet. I know you're going to be in an exam and you want to rush and save some time, but if you spend 2 minutes here it will probably save you about 10 minutes later. So I've got quarter, 1, 2, 3, 4 with the months, so that's 4 quarters of the year. So I'm just gonna increase the column length so I can see everything. So I've got the months split into 4 quarters, and then I've got number of trips, income, expenditure, profit, and I assume they're going to want to know which month made the most amount of profit, the worst, and the average as well. So first of all, they're asking us to save the file with your center number and candidate number. There's an example there. So when you go to saving this, you should save it as an Excel workbook document. The reason for that is if you save it as a CSV document and you close it and you want to open it later to print your formulas, the formulas will not show up. CSV does not save formulas. So save it as an Excel workbook. There's a lot of students that make the same mistake. They save it as a CSV, they close the file, they realize they made a mistake on one of the printouts, and then they go to open the file and there's no formulas there. So that could take about 15-20 minutes to correct that, so save yourself that time. I'm gonna save it as with a made up center number and user number. So save that as the Excel workbook. Then they want us to insert a new row, so just right click here and click on insert. Then they would like us to enter some information in cell A1. Okay, it's very important to note that they will give you a mark for this, and they will also be checking if you've got the correct uppercase and lowercase characters. Okay, that's worth 2 marks. Now they want us to merge the following cells: B2 to E2 and so on. So I'm going to highlight cell B2 to E2 and merge the cell. Don't click on merge and center. They might not want you to center the text in the actual exam. So click on merge cells. I'm going to do the same for the rest of them. Okay. They want us to format the cells. The text should be center aligned, in black, 18-point font and sans serif. I'm going to highlight them together. Center aligned, black font, just to make sure it is black. Okay, 18-point font, sans serif. Calibri is already sans serif, so I'm going to leave it as that. Then they would like a grey background and a thin black border. So grey background, okay, and the black border. It's already a thin border, so you can just click on all borders. That'll save you some time. Then they'd like us to format cells A2 and R2 so that they have the same formatting in step 3. They could have asked you to do it along with step 3, but they would like you to give it the extra marks. So you've got 2 extra marks for doing that separately. So click on cell A2 and press and hold control, click on R2 and just do the same formatting. Size 18, don't forget the borders, and center aligned. Okay, that's about it. Now in cell E4, use a function to calculate the number of trips in April, May and June. So April, May and June, total number of trips. I'm going to be using the sum formula. It's very simple, equals sum, open bracket, select the cells that you'd like to use, close your bracket and press enter. And in cell E5, use a function to calculate the total income from April, May and June. So April, May and June. What I can do, I can copy the formula down. Click on the bottom right corner of the cell and copy that down. It will copy this sum formula. You'll also notice that because you've copied it down, every row that you've copied down is also taken the cell references. Down one cell here, so one row, same here, down one row. Okay, so I've done question 6 as well. So 7, and question 8 requires us to do the same 3 formulas for the 3 sections and display the data for the quarters 2, 3 and 4. So give me a chance to go through the sum formula again. Equals sum, open bracket, select the cells that you want, close, and copy that down very easily. Okay, equals sum, open bracket, select the cells that you want, close bracket, press enter, and copy that down. One last time, equals sum, open bracket, select the cells that you want, close, press enter, and you can copy that down very easily. Okay, it's question 8 done. Now question 9 says calculate the profit for each month and each quarter. They've also given you the calculation for profit, which is income minus expenditure. And that's a lot easier than the previous exams. Previous exams, they haven't always mentioned what the calculation should be. So they made it a little bit easier here. So equals, some people make the mistake here of using the sum formula. They believe that the sum formula should be used for everything. But it's as simple as income minus expenditure. You don't need to add sum or any special formula names to do that. They want it for all the months and all the quarters, so I'm just going to copy that all the way through. Straightforward. So calculate the total number of trips, income, expenditure, and profit for the year. So I'm going to do a formula here. I'm just going to add them up manually. So if I select all of these, it will give me the month and the subtotal. Now I'm just going to select the subtotals here, the 4 subtotals from the 4 quarters, and that would be enough to give me the correct total. And I can copy that down as well. Total, and same with the total profit. Okay, so if you select that, you can see the cell references are also correct. Now, they want us to do some work on the footer. To open the footer, click on Insert, Header and Footer. And that's going to open both the header and the footer. Now, you might not be able to see the footer straight away. You'll have to scroll down to see the footer. Okay, I'm going to click on the left side first. They want us on the left of the footer to add the name, center number, and candidate number. So, make up a name, make up a center number, and the candidate number. Now, on the right in the footer, add the automated file name and path. So you've got, if you click here, you've got file path and file name. Don't make the mistake of doing file name, file path and file name, because if you click on file path, it will also give you the name. So if I click on file path, can you see you've got path and file as well. If you click out of it, you can check if it's correct. Yep, it is correct. Now, to get out of the footer, just click on any cell and then click on view and normal. Okay, you can't see the footer, but when you do print it, you should be able to see it. Here's an example in the print preview. Okay, so the footer is there. Now, in cell B9, use a function to display the greatest monthly profit. So the highest we'll use equals max, open bracket, and highest month. So I'm just going to select the months. So press and hold Control on your keyboard, in the bottom left, and then you can select just the months. Close your bracket, and it's going to find the maximum or the highest profit. So at the moment I think it's January, so I press enter and January comes up. The value for January, I will know it's correct. Yes. Now the worst month is min, so equals, for the lowest is min, open bracket, and again you can select the cells that you require for the profit, press enter. Okay, now 0 is not incorrect, it just is for December, and December doesn't have any values, so don't be worried if you get a result like that. The average for the month, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this formula just to make it easier for me, because I need the same cells. So I'm going to put average on here, press enter, and that will give me the average as well. So I've covered question 12, 13 and 14. Now it says apply appropriate formatting for all cells except row 2. That's worth 3 marks. Okay, so let's make some assumptions. So appropriate formatting, here we've got currency. I'm not selecting number of trips because that's not a currency value, it doesn't require a currency value. And then I'm going to right click, format cells. There are other ways of doing it, but this is the way I prefer. Currency. Now they asked for dollars before, so I'm going to go and find the US dollars, 2 decimal places, press OK, and then it should convert the values to dollars with 2 decimal places. Now it says in cell B11, which is our average profit. Okay. Edit the formula so that it rounds this value to the nearest whole dollar. Nearest whole dollar. The round formula works like this. So equals round, open bracket, any number that you've got that you want to round, and then have number of digits. So 0, number of digits or decimal places, close the bracket, and it should give me 7. Round it to 7. Yes. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to replace this number with the formula that we've got for the average, because average will bring back this number, and this number will be used for the rounding formula. Let me show you. So equals round and open bracket, and the number is covered by the average formula, and then number of digits we want 0, close bracket. That will hopefully round it for us. Okay. Then the question is also asking display the contents of this cell so that it only shows integer value. So we just want numbers. I assume they don't want the dollar symbol here. Let's go to format cells, go to number, press OK. There we go. Now save and print the spreadsheet showing formulas. To show the formulas, click on formulas and show formulas. Now it changes the size of the columns automatically, and you'll have to correct that. It's asking for it to be in landscape orientation, so page layout, landscape, straightforward. Also that the row and column headings are displayed. At the moment, if I go to print, it doesn't display the rows and columns headings. You can't see. So as you can see here, it's not displaying the headings here. So you have to go to page layout, and under headings click on print to activate it for the print, and it should display on the print preview. Okay. It's also asking that the contents of all cells are fully visible. That's the headings. Now if you check carefully, you'll find that some of the formulas are not completely shown, like over here. If I just double click it on here, I can see the complete formula. And then go on the right hand side. Okay, I think I can show everything. Now there is no requirement here to print it all in one page, so you can print it in 3 or 4 pages. That's not a problem. So after you printed that, you can go back to no formula shown here, and then they're asking us to print the spreadsheet showing the values. Make sure that it's on a single page printout and all contents of the cells are visible. So here can we see September is not complete, November is not complete, and December is not complete. So we can see that now. If I go into print again, you can actually change the setting. Now there's a scaling option here. If you go to scaling and fit on one page, it will print everything that you've got onto one page. Okay, so you can print that, and then they want us to update some of the information. Now they're giving you 2 easy marks just for entering 45,000 and 42,000 in the correct places. So take your time doing that. We'll go to December. For the income, 45,000, and for the expenditure, 42,000. And they want us to print it again in the same format, single page, with everything visible. So fit on one sheet, and everything will also be visible. And that's the end of the spreadsheet section.